Okay, we are going to go live. How about how about the Florida Gators? How about the Gators, man? They won that semifinal game. They're looking good. They beat Auburn 79-73. We're doing a live stream now. I recorded some stuff a little bit earlier, and we've been doing some new things on YouTube. But you can see our Teal Shirt Report podcast logo up in the top right hand corner. The sponsors on the ticker: Florida Gators, a huge winner, 79-73 over Auburn. What did you think about the game? What did you think about Duke? As John Gaylor, our corresponding contributor, said, Duke basically kind of choked in the last couple of minutes of the game. Houston went on a big run, and Florida is going to play Houston in the title game on Monday night. A source tells us Florida's a 1-point favorite, and they will cover that spread and maybe win by 2 points. It could be extremely close. Jaguars getting ready for the draft in late April. It'll be held up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Who will the Jags draft? Will it be the defensive tackle out of Michigan? Or, and JC, I know you're with me on Will Campbell, because the big difference, in my opinion, it comes down to this on the offensive line. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with Walker Little playing left tackle? All this will probably be worked out in training camp, but are you comfortable with Walker Little and Walker Little playing left tackle starting for the Jaguars, or is he more of a fill-in type tackle, a swing tackle, if you will? Got Anton Harrison at right tackle. Got the guard from the Ravens. What's his name? McCary. They'll probably start at right guard. Mitch Morse apparently is retired. I'm not sure he was in the Jaguars plan anyway. Jaguars signed a center through the free agent route from Tampa Bay, who did not start last year, but I believe he started the year before. Younger guy in his prime, younger than Mitch Morse. And we'll see what happens. You're going to have a left guard in there playing. I think John Gaylor had penciled this one and that one in, but you got a draft coming up too. I like Tate Rutledge, a guard out of Georgia. Maybe he's, in the top 2 or 3 rounds, you could get him. Left tackle Will Campbell certainly would be there at 5. Maybe the Jags could trade back to 8 and he's still there. However, if they pick at 5, it may be the defensive tackle out of Michigan. I've seen his film. He is really good. Good run stuffer. So if I pull up the NFL mock draft, we had talked about this earlier on during when we were recording some podcasts. We'll still call this episode show number 17. We recorded some 17s earlier. But, if you take a look at the NFL mock draft, and Yahoo has been putting out one I like because it's short and sweet. Seems like it's always there. They've got Cam Ward, the Miami quarterback, going to the Tennessee Titans at number 1 overall. Apparently, Tennessee not too thrilled with Will Levis, the guy that likes mayonnaise in his coffee. Travis Hunter's moved from 3 to 2 in the mock draft. It looks like we've looked at this. This has been kind of the order for the last week to 10 days. Travis Hunter could go number 2 to the Cleveland Browns, a cornerback wide receiver out of Colorado. New York Giants, Shadir Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. Nothing against Shadir, but, he may be overvalued at number 3. That may be a little high, but that's quarterbacks are going to be selected higher than maybe they should, i.e. Anthony Richardson a couple years back, just in my opinion. Shadir Sanders, quarterback, the Giants selecting him at 3rd overall. Giants looking for a quarterback, a young drafted quarterback now. Number 4, the Patriots. This could be an interesting pick. Armand Mimbu, a guard out of Missouri. Obviously, if he's picked by the Patriots there, he must be the top guard in the draft. They do like Tate Rutledge out of Georgia, another guard. Maybe he's a guy that would be available in the second or even the third round for the Jaguars, but I think he'll go quick. Might have to grab him in the second round. And the Jaguars, according to Yahoo, are slated to pick at number 5 and pick Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Could the Jaguars surprise everybody and go for left tackle Will Campbell at number 5 overall, or trade back a couple of spots and get him at 7 or 8? Maybe add a pick here or there. But the Jaguars already have 10 picks in the draft. Hey, Florida Gators are going to the title game. Florida Gators with a 79-73 win over the Auburn Tigers. Houston with a big run at the end, and Duke blew a pretty sizable lead in the last 2 or 3 minutes of that game. And Houston wins, I believe, by 3 points, and they're going to play the Florida Gators. Florida Gators versus Houston on Monday night, 8:50 Eastern time for the tip-off, 7:50 Central time. Who do the Florida Gators take at 5? If they do pick at 5, I think it's going to be the defensive tackle, probably, but I would probably prefer the left tackle, because I want a left tackle that has an opportunity to be all pro. Is Walker Little that for the Jaguars, or is he better off, even though he signed a new contract, are you better off having him playing the swing tackle? Leave your comments, subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up. You can check concerts in the Neighbors 2 section at bigjreport.com. I know Rick Springfield is coming to the area in Northeast Florida. I believe Chicago's still on the way. There's some other good shows. Clay County Fair already underway. They've had musical acts at the Clay County Fair, as well. The Gene Simmons Band was either postponed or canceled, and they were going to be, I believe, at the Florida Theater. So for the latest in concerts, go to bigjreport.com in the Neighbors 2 section. Thank you to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, for your real estate needs in North Florida. Whether it's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate, see Larry Saucer at Saucer Realty and Capital. I talked with Larry over the weekend. We're going to get together for lunch in a few days, and that'll be a lot of fun with our sponsor, Saucer Realty and Capital, and Larry Saucer. Want to thank Mad Max. Mad Max is back from his surgery. He had surgery. Max's surgery was probably like well over a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and now he's back doing the show. I think maybe the surgery was 2 months ago, and he's back doing the show. He's been back doing the show for about a month now. He sounds Mad Max sounds great. Check him out with the madmaxmix.weebly.com each Wednesday night, 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time with the Mad Max Mix. Weebly.com. On Wednesday nights during the show itself, he'll give you his phone number where you can call him or text in your request. And I've had a chance to be interviewed by Mad Max since he's been back from his surgery. Hopefully we'll be back on Max's show being interviewed by Max probably maybe this Wednesday or the next Wednesday. I want to thank you guys for watching. Special thanks to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the madmaxmix.weebly.com, and by Lake Eufaula Hits. JC does absolutely live from the pub on Thursday nights at LakeEufaulaHits.com. Great internet radio on JC's site. He does have a chat box where you can actually chat him your request or any kind of comments as well. Hey, leave a comment here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Subscribe to our channel if you would. Florida Gators playing Houston. I've checked the latest line. Florida's a 1-point favorite. And what about the guard Clayton? My goodness. He scored what? Has he scored 30 points in the last 2 games? 30 points each in the last 2 games. And that's not been done in an Elite 8 or Final 4 games since like Larry Bird in 1979 when Larry Bird played for the Indiana State Sycamores. But Mr. for the Gators, he is a first team All-American. I think it's the first time ever. Florida's had a lot of great guards over the years, a lot of great guard play. However, this guy is like the first, I believe, first team All-American that the Gators have had playing guard. And he's a good one. And as far as scoring points, you put him in the same conversation as a guy named Larry Bird. That's pretty good. And we're talking about Walter Clayton Jr., the first team All-American for the Florida Gators. Now, number 10 is a guy that can handle the ball. And I'm saying that kid is tall, John Gaylor. How tall is he? I think Gaylor said he was 7 feet and he can handle the ball like that. The Gator bigs are very physical, and it's going to be one heck of a championship game Monday night as the Florida Gators take on the Houston Cougars. Florida, I hear, is a 1-point favorite. Our source likes Florida to cover that and maybe win by 2 points. It could be that close in the national title game on Monday night, April the 7th of 2025, as the Florida Gators play the Houston Cougars. Check out our website at bigjreport.com if you would. Great weather. It's getting warmer. High temperatures around 89 or 90 in the afternoon. Chance of rain moves back in. We haven't seen much rain in the last few days, but a chance of rain will roll in on Monday, about a 40% chance of rain. High temperatures around 89, low temperatures in the 60s. Still getting a good substantial amount of wind today out of the south, and gusting at times at as much as 6 to 24 miles per hour. It's the most wind I've really seen over the last year or so. Not every day, but a lot of days we've had substantial amount of crazy winds, and it looks like the winds continue out of the south. It is 6 to as much as 24 miles per hour. Florida Gators in the national championship basketball game as they won their semifinal game in the Final Four over the Auburn Tigers. Florida Gators 79, Auburn Tigers 73. Dukes really stubbed their toe in the last couple of minutes of their title game as they lost by 3 points to Houston. Duke had a pretty good sizable lead with about, 3 minutes to go. And then Houston went on a run and had a huge come-from-behind win. So it's Florida and Houston in the NCAA college basketball title game. In the Florida-Auburn game that I saw, I did not really watch the Duke or Houston game, but I saw the score and kind of how things wound down at the end. Man, John Gaylor said, man, Duke choked. Those were kind of his exact words. Want to thank our executive producer, JC. Also, Alex Nunnery, another producer. We've got Alex now invited in as being a co-host. So hopefully Alex will do some recordings here, and I think he can probably go live if he likes as well. Alex Nunnery with bigjreport.com. So you're tuned in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs here in North Florida, whether it's a home, residential, business, or commercial real estate. You'll find a link for Saucer Realty and Capital on our website near the weather reports on our homepage at bigjreport.com. I am still kind of getting used to how we do all this stuff on YouTube, even though we've been doing it for several months, almost getting close to a year now. We have our audio version of the podcast, which you can find on our website on the homepage. Just scroll there. You don't have to scroll too much, but scroll down. You'll find our audio version of the podcast. And now we're on YouTube. By all means, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. I'm Scott with bigjreport.com. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. A little bit more of episode show number 17. Billy Kilmer, who used to play quarterback for the Washington Redskins. And they kind of shared time back then, him and Sonny Jurgensen. Number 17 with the Jaguars last year was Evan Ingram. And now, he was not in the Jaguars' plans. They released him, got out of that contract. But now Evan Ingram has signed on with the Denver Broncos. Jaguars, got the number 3 wide receiver out of Washington, who the Jags are high on. Also got some offensive line help, the center from Tampa Bay. McCary, probably going to play right guard from the Baltimore Ravens. I think he played in all 17 games last year, and he can play any offensive line position. Who will the Jaguars draft at number 5 overall? Give me your comments in the comments section. We've talked about it some off and on. By the way, my name is Scott. I'm your host of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com, and LakeUvalleHits.com, where JC does his live from the pub show on Thursday nights. You'll find links for all of these shows, and also these are our sponsors, and of course, Saucer Realty and Capital. There's a link for the Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs. Go to our website, scroll the homepage, and during the weather report, you'll see the text. You'll see the information, the North Florida weather, and right in the middle of the weather, or toward the end, you'll find a link for Saucer Realty and Capital. Want to thank our executive producer JC, also another producer Alex Nunnery. Want to thank you guys, obviously, for helping us so much. Our executive producer, JC, another producer, Alex Nunnery, and our correspondent of the Teal Shirt Report podcast, our correspondent, want to thank John Gaylor. You guys have a great day. We're still kind of experimenting with all we can do through StreamYard, YouTube, and we appreciate you guys being here. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to cover, as time goes on, we're going to cover some more semi-pro football as well, North Florida entertainment. Obviously, we have our commentary on the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. And talking college basketball, the SEC. The SEC had 2 teams from the SEC in the Final Four, and Florida beat Auburn 79-73. Duke got beat at the end by Houston. And it'll be Houston and the Florida Gators on Monday night, April the 7th. That's at the, what is it? Is that the Alamo Dome? I believe in San Antonio. Florida's a 1-point favorite. It could be extremely close on Monday night in the championship game. That's going to do it for our live stream, the Teal Shirt Report podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Hey, have a great day.